Tottenham Hotspur have been an absolute shambles this transfer window. We're supposed to be a Champions League team, and all of us, all we've got that is notable right now in this transfer window is Mohamed Kudus and Paulinho. Work that out for a Champions League team. Let's get straight into it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your boy Mr. Box Office from Mr. Box Office TV, back with another video for you today, fresh off the Notting Hill Carnival. And what I want to speak about is Tottenham Hotspur being an absolute shamble this transfer window. I don't even think I know a transfer window where a team is supposed to be going for the Champions League. We've just come off our best win for a long time in terms of winning the Europa League last season. We sack a manager and now bring in another coach in Thomas Frank, who still needs to prove himself, even though he's had a very good start. And I still stick by what I say. Very boring football, but a very good coach who sets up his team very well. That's why we're winning. We've won 2 games so far, this far in the season so far. 6 points in 6. Brilliant. But we're not really helped by our transfer window right now, when most of the team is still the same team that was from last season. Only that we've only brought in Kudus and Paulinho, who have made an absolute massive difference, let's be honest here. The problem I have at the moment is that we don't have certain players in our team. One player is that creative midfielder, that number 10, I ask. Because our original number 10 in James Maddison is injured and could be injured, will look likely to be injured for the whole season. And with Kulusevski, who I don't rate as a number 10 creative midfielder, out to maybe the end of the year, maybe October at the earliest, we don't have that player that can create, which is quite obvious. Even though we've done well in the games, you see that we struggle to create. And with teams are very clever in the Premier League and they're very clever in the Champions League and maybe in the Cups as well, Carabao Cup and FA Cup, Tottenham Hotspur struggle to score goals. Maybe from set pieces will be okay, corners, yeah, but from open play, we will struggle to score goals if you don't have a Kudus who's marked out the game. If Johnson can't get his tap-ins, we struggle. Especially on the left wing, we don't have somebody that can actually get past the man. And people say to me, oh, Alderbert passes a man. No, I don't see it. And he still needs a lot of work. And he needs somebody to compete with him. So at the moment, I'm struggling at the moment. And this is why I say this transfer window has been an absolute shambles. When we've had the whole of 6 months to prepare for this. Regardless what the situation was going to be, we had the whole 6 months. So there's got to be question marks at the moment. And people will start to say, trying to double down and say to us and say, oh, it's not the end of the transfer window yet. We can't have our tantrums, don't have a tantrum yet. But then you're sitting there saying, well, if you haven't done the job properly, you've got to have question marks on certain things. You might not have the information in front of you. You might not know what's actually going on behind closed doors. But we've had previous with this. We've had previous experience with this before with this ownership. And it asks the question, why do we always get this wrong? Why do we always get this wrong? And other teams, such like Brighton, get this always right. Why are teams like Manchester United, who are not even in the Champions, not even in Europe, getting better players than Tottenham Hotspur? It's just becoming a bit of a joke. and then we're struggling to sell players, it's not really a good recipe for success, let's be honest. Because let's be honest here, we all said we got lucky last season winning the Europa League. And now we're seeing the fruits of what's going on. And let's be honest here, Frank is doing absolute wonders doing what he's doing at the moment with the team, setting them up as best he can with the players he's got and doing them very well. So there's a lot of credit where credit's due to Thomas Frank. But the point I'm making is he's not getting helped. And then it goes on to the story that I really need to speak about. Because the shambles of Tottenham Hotspur has not been helped by also Fabio Paractici. Because Fabio Paractici, who is reportedly coming back at the end of the transfer window, he has done some good work, but also has got his flaws as well. So with him coming back, hopefully, because of the trust that some of the hierarchy have got with Paractici, there could be a change in the direction of what we're doing. There seems to be a strategy of how we're going to make this team better. Because at the moment, I don't see a team getting better. All I'm seeing is we're trying to keep the players that we've got who are not good enough in the first place and not getting players in that are actually going to compete to make them better. Lucas Paquetá for West Ham. If Tottenham Hotspur are really on it, they're getting straight away. Directly, straight away. Get straight to the point. We're going for youngsters right now, rather than going for players that are actually more experienced. And you can see, when we get experienced players in, like your Kudos, like your Paulinho, you see what happens. Paulinho was our best player against Man City. And he's not even half fit. He's only half fit. You got Kudos that's causing problems every single time he's on the pitch for Tottenham Hotspur. So when you've got players like, for instance, Harvey Elliott available, who's got Premier League experience, why are we not going for him? Jared Bowen looks very disillusioned at West Ham. Why are we not going for him? There are other players available right now. And Newcastle United, who I'm told, are looking embarrassing. Their transfer window looks embarrassing. But they're going for more players than Tottenham Hotspur. And they're not being slow about it. Because the reason why I'm saying this is a shambles at the moment, and hopefully this will change with Paractici. Not that I'm a fan of Paractici. Hopefully things will change with Paractici. Is because there's only so much Thomas Frank can do. Now, this is not an endorsement for Thomas Frank, no. But there's only so much Thomas Frank can do with the tools he's got. There's only so much he can do with Richarlison, who, for me, is at his best because that's all he can do. That's his level. There's only so much he can do with Solanke. There's only so much he can do with the certain players he's got. Pape Sarr, Bergvall, Archie Gray, Paulinho, Bentancur. There's only so much he can do with these players. Tell, Alderweireld, Ben Davis, Adoji, Spence. All these players, Vicario. There's only so much he can do with all these players. So he needs players to improve the squad, because the only way we're going to do better this season and achieve the achievements that we need to achieve this season is quality. And Tottenham Hotspur need to change it right now. And that's all I've got to say. If you really want to get quality like Davy Sivens, get it done. Because at the moment, yeah, it looks good at the moment. But when Europe starts kicking in, Champions League, 2 games a week, then you'll need your quality. And that will show you what happens when you don't have quality in your squad. Short, sharp video from your boy, your main event. And as always, see you on the next video. And please like and subscribe if you didn't know. Get to know. Support your boy, Mr. Box Office. Subscribe and like. And come on, you Spurs. And we're out.